so there are 4 of us who are reading this afternoon that you can see in the room today. So I'll introduce each poet and then they'll read for 10 minutes. We've got probably a bit of a range of directly climate themed or environment themed poetry and some of our other stuff, but hopefully you will enjoy. So if we get started with Barry Patterson. Hey, so Barry is a writer and performer living in Coventry. He was originally a science teacher, but he's worked in museums, he's worked in nature reserves as a guide, but these days his English bagpipe playing alter ego, the Wild Man of the Woods, is Britain's widest travelled and longest running Green Man performance. He's also a well-known figure on Coventry's poetry scene, and his first collection, Nature Mystic, was published by Heaven Tree Press in 2008. In 2012, his poem Advice to a Geordie Miner Lad at Pooley was mounted at a public monument at Pooley Pit Head near Polesworth in North Warwickshire. He co-ran an open mic poetry evening, Night Blue Fruit, and is a regular at Coventry's very successful Fire and Dust. He's currently the Poet Laureate of Ross Silver, one of the oldest continuously recorded public ceremonies in Britain. Go ahead, Barry Patterson.
Thank you, Emma, for that extensive introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. And gone to green, the pride of the Angles, where the hawk stoops, shore thunders, where the hare sleeps, hidden shield, force field of mountain light, river brightness, sleek of migrant trout. And gone to glory, the pride of the Cymry, where green and gold slumber in the pool, where the sun dreams of forests no one knows, mysteries of the hillside, stone voices of the unborn, unseen ancestor. And gone to Mount Pleasant, the song of the gales, where the bee makes her nest within the tree, where horses sleep upon the island of wind, wind woven of voices bitten by time and night, to be eaten, to be drunk to the fill. And gone to green, the pride of the Britons, where sweet awakening of birds' song breaks fast, where the rain makes circles upon my river tongue, speaks of ageless delights of earthing by the wood's edge, in Albion. Now 2 poems. The first is called Together. The second is called Desert Crossing. Please wake up. Please wake up to the rapture of the deep that was hidden in your beauty as if you were asleep, that was locked within your throat like a name you couldn't tell, that is coiled in your heart, that rang like a bell when you laughed or you smiled or saw something filled with awe, because that's what I love in you, because that's what I saw when the magic jumped between us, stepped through that door. Open spaces hold no danger, it's the emptiness inside, and our sorrow and our need, where we struggle with our pride, and the set of daft ideas that we have about ourselves, my dear, that is really gonna hurt us. So please take my hand, we'll step out into the land of beyond together. Desert Crossing. This world is not a haunted house. There are no demons here. Something that begins in open-heartedness somehow gets twisted into fear, and our fear is our love gone wrong. And all the paths of life you know flow from a single source within the heart. False history's desert crossing is all that keeps us apart. So step forth, gently, warmly, tenderly, bravely, and fully remember that this is true. It's not all about you. Last poem for the birds. It's not a seasonal poem, really. It's a poem of the late summer rather than the early summer, but nevertheless is relevant. Dark arch, lone stack, cracked cliff facing the north are silent now where summer's thousands called. And I sit here knowing they set forth without issue. Again, the sand eel failed to follow the current from the colder seas. The seething sea coasts louder, flashing silver in the sun, pass few and far from this ancient meeting place, and the childless birds with no food to be had are gone. Countless generations of kittiwakes and auks before journeyed from out there on the slow rolling tide. Each crag and point and cliff colony of the shore, a place of ritual and territorial pride. Each couple with their place upon the wall, their voices and the beating of their wings rise and swell in a primal clarion call. Of wind and wave and secret deeps they sing. Of love and hate and sex and giving birth. Their cries our common heritage declare. We, the city-dwelling creatures of the earth, they, the laughing, weeping citizens of the air. And we burn the green world to fuel our play, as if we had a right to do these things. And they watch, and from our lands they turn away, and for wilder, lonelier climes they bend the wing. Where once 100,000 flickering wings darkened the sky, and we marvelled at the sight, how soon before such wild and stirring things will be but dreams and hidden from our sight. And who do you work for? And who do you bank with? And how did you travel here to listen to my words? Our way of life is a fantasy, you know, and the things we take for granted are killing our birds. My heart has been broken 100,000 times by my own impotence and hypocrisy. I'm heavily implicated in humanity's crimes, and the ignorance of what's it to do with me, and a medley of similar excuses and cop-out lines just add to the pathos and cynicism that holds sway. Our culture of convenience ignores the signs. Oh, it won't make any difference anyway. When the birds are gone, then the spirit of the land will die. Each act, no matter how small it may seem to be, that honours and acknowledges the cry will make a difference to our destiny. So let us make sacrifice to this magical world and deeply question what we've been told is true by the naysayers with their hoard of expert words, and ask ourselves what it is in our hearts to do. I sit upon these cliffs I've always known, among sea pinks, wiry grass and heather, and think of my friends and relatives who have flown away from here. They're facing heavy weather. On the storms of the northern seas they are at home, upon the vast and turning ocean's back, asleep beneath the purple of a storm, afloat in rafts far out from cliff and stack. Each tiny thing we offer to the sacred earth, like the fragile heartbeat of a small bird in our hand, however insignificant may seem its worth in the grander scale of things across the land, is a raindrop, beloved of the enormous sea. Each warrior's gesture of renunciation, a single note in the resurgent symphony, an unseen power of destruction and creation. dark arch, lone stack, cracked cliff facing the sea. A place between the worlds it will remain, and may the crying, winged people always be, and may their families flourish here again, and let them say, some heeded the call that rang out in anguish from the northern sea, brave and strong enough to know that small acts can change the world and make us free. Thank you for listening.